What is going on, guys? Johnny here, coming at you solo, but don't leave just yet. Our girl Frizz is battling a little bit of a bug. Poor baby has not been thrifting in 3 days. She's angry about it.
They run out of time in the end, and the offensive coordinator, Dorsey.
But she's on the mend. She's getting better. So hopefully more thrifting with Frizz coming soon. My voice a little hoarse, but guys, it is not from any kind of sickness. Well, maybe a sickness.
A fever.
Bills fever, guys. If you have been watching for a while, you know I am a die-hard Bills fan. So I flew home to Buffalo this weekend, rooted on the Bills over the Ravens, and this is just a hoarse voice from yelling like a lunatic for 3 hours. But I want to talk about a couple things. Some sales. We shipped out 56 orders yesterday. Also, we've received some Instagram messages this week just kind of asking for some tips and advice. People are like, I feel like I'm picking up a lot of good things, but my sales are not there, and you guys seem to be selling things, so what are you doing? So I'm going to give you just some tips and tricks that we've been doing because our stores are active, they are live, and doing well. And on top of it, we received this package in the mail, and it's something that we never thought we'd see again. So I want to get your feedback on what the right thing to do is professionally, morally. What do you think? What's in this box? I want to talk about it. One thing that we have been experimenting with a lot lately is bundling, creating lots and creating bundles of 2 and 3 items to kind of help some slower moving items move a little bit faster. And guys, it has been working great. We sold these 2 Polo Ralph Lauren corduroy pants for $38. Now, if you look up comps, they can go anywhere from like 90 to 40 a pair. So why did we bundle them and sell them for 38? It's a little bit of a smaller size, 34, 30. Most of those comps were around $19. So we sold both of them in days for 38 bucks. These FootJoy pants, bundled the 3 together, all the same size, all the same style. They sold for $79. And that's the key with these bundles. Have them be the same thing, but different colors. Same size, so if somebody is gonna buy a pair, they want 3 pairs, they're gonna get it all in once. It helps them to save on shipping, and they can get everything in one order. Mizzen and Main, it's fine. They're nice shirts. It's a slow sell-through rate, but we bundled these 3 together that Frizz got at the bins, and the 3 sold for $45. Again, same size, same style, just different colors. Reformation, if you guys saw our last video, you heard Frizz talk about Reformation and how she's starting to find it more. And so that has an impact out on eBay, right? If there's more supply and demand, then it starts selling for less. She picked up these 2 shirts that probably would have sold for 15 to 20 bucks a piece. It probably would have sat for a little while, bundled the 2 together, put them up for 40 bucks, and they were gone in a week. Also, these J. Jill turtlenecks, put the 3 together, they sold for $45. J. Jill does well in plus sizes. I know we don't really pick up J. Jill too often. There's exceptions to every rule, so make sure you're always checking comps and sell-through rates. But these sold again in like 2 weeks. So items that might be slow moving can move a lot quicker if you can bundle them together. The key is just make sure you get them at a good price, but you may not want to buy a shirt for $5 and sell it for $15. But maybe you would spend 15 into 45. I know it's weird math in the head, but it's going to move a lot quicker if you can bundle together. Just make sure they're the same size. You don't want to kind of be all over the place. Keep everything the same, just different colors, but try bundling. But drop in the comments and let us know. Do you lot things together? Do you bundle it all? Or would this be something new you would try? Let us know. A couple of people had asked us in the comments and said, hey, I found X brand. It's not selling. What's going on? And one of the ones that somebody had sent us was Patagonia. Now, we have great luck with Patagonia. We also have bad luck with Patagonia. And so there's a lot of things that go with that. We sold this Patagonia puffer jacket for $23. Now, if you're out in a thrift store and see a Patagonia puffer jacket, like you're snagging that all day, right? Maybe not. Maybe you shouldn't. So that's why we tell everybody that do the same thing we do. Check sell-through rates, not just comps, but check sell-through rates and see how quick something is going to move. Certain styles, sizes, all that stuff matters. So this Patagonia puffer coat that sold for 23 bucks was an extra small. It kind of limits who's going to wear that, right? So just keep that in mind. but we tell people all the time, avoid extra small, right? A lot of extra small doesn't sell. This Tucker Nut extra small top sold for 30 bucks in a matter of days. So yes, it all matters. There is exceptions to every rule, but please look up comps, look at sell-through rate, and also check out Poshmark, because a lot of the comps on eBay may not be the same as they are on Poshmark, and you might want to be pricing things a little bit different on the two platforms. Wanted to take a minute and just welcome everybody who is new to the channel. Our last video, if you guys saw that, our grand opening at the thrift store did really well for us, and we also picked up a lot of new subscribers. So if you're new to the channel, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. If this is your first time watching one of our videos, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. We know you're gonna be happy here. If you checked out our BOLO list for 2025, you're gonna recognize some of these brands already. We sold 2 of those Gundren Sojin shirts that we picked up at our local Goodwill a couple weeks ago. One for $45 and one for $38, both on Poshmark. Somebody messaged or commented on a video and said that they gave them LuLaRoe vibes, which was kind of funny when we thought about it, but a much better quality, but definitely something you want to look out for. Gundren Sojin. It's on our BOLO list, so if you haven't checked out that video, check it out, because these 2 sold real fast. We got to talk about this box.
What's in the box?
So this is something that we never thought we would see again. This shipped out in July. Just last week, it showed up on our door as a return to sender. Now, return to sender, stuff like that happens all the time. The 6-month gap might be a little long, but return to senders, we get that all the time. People forget to update their mailing address when they move or things like that. So what's so special about this one? So we open it up and we check inside, and it's a hat. Look at that cool Scooby-Doo hat from the Cartoon Network. Cool racing hat, right? This, again, sold back in July. It came back returned to sender. So, Johnny, what's the big deal about this hat? Guys, we got 5 stars. We got 5-star feedback on Poshmark for this hat back in July, that our buyer received it and loved it. But yet, here it is. And I want to know in the comments, what would you guys do? We try to act with the utmost integrity at all. We want to make sure that our buyers are as happy as they possibly can be. And sometimes you're not able to do that, but our buyer loved this hat. There's a chance I don't think our buyer ever saw this hat. And again, this happened back in July. We're talking 6 months ago. So we haven't done anything yet, and I want to get your feedback and see, what would you guys do? Do you message them and say, hey, I know you gave us 5 stars and loved this hat, but you didn't get it? Now, we could have them send us money and ship it back out. We could ship it out off of our own cost and send it back to them, but obviously that's going to cut into our profits. 3, do you just like relist it and move on and all is well? What would you do? Drop in the comments. I'm dying to know. We want to make this right, but at the same time, didn't we already? Shout out to Frizz, because this is our current sale of the year, I think. I'll have to double check, but I think it is. This Carhartt Detroit jacket that she found at the bins that had the vintage kids in a tizzy sold for $337. The vintage kids, the t-shirt bros, whatever you call them, they are always looking for Carhartt Detroit jackets. And our girl Frizz found one. Sold for $337, like I said. But keep in mind, Carhartt, again, when you see it out in the wild, it doesn't necessarily mean it's good. We don't pick up Carhartt jeans very rarely, t-shirts, things like that. We're really looking for the jackets. We did sell these pair of overalls, but again, nothing too exciting, so comp everything. But if you see one of those canvas jackets, it's usually a good idea. If you've been watching our videos for a while, you've heard us say don't sleep on sleepwear. Frizz talks about Lake all the time as a great sleepwear brand to resell. Well, I'm going to piggyback off that and say don't sleep on belts. Frizz picked up this leather belt for $1 at the bins, and it sold for 84 bucks. Any of those kind of Western style has embellishments on it and things like that. A lot of those can do very well. We're talking a lot about looking things up. And guys, every time we are in the thrift store, we are looking stuff up. We are checking comps, even if we've sold this item before, because trends change. Prices go up, values go down too. So we use Google a ton. Google Lens, whether you just go to Google or have the app on your phone, pull it up, hit that camera button in the search bar, and then it'll open a camera. Shocking, right? And then take a photo of an item that you have, or if you have a photo on your phone already, you can use that too. And it will scan it, and a lot of times you'll see things pop up, and a lot of times they're eBay listings. And it gives you a lot of information and things like that. But please, when you're using Google Lens and you scan something and you see a price pop up and it's $200 and you just put your phone away and say, yep, this is worth $200, dig a little deeper. A lot of times Google is showing you like the highest listing or whoever's promoted it the most, and that's gonna look good until you dig a little bit deeper. So make sure to go in and check sold comps, because you don't want to just buy something thinking it goes for $200 and find out that really they're selling for $25. Another thing is it also pops up Etsy a lot. We don't personally sell on Etsy, although we should, I think. Etsy prices tend to be a little bit higher than what things are going for on eBay and Poshmark. So use Google Lens to at least identify the item and start your research a little bit more if you can't find it. But as anything, proceed with caution. But we use Google Lens every time we're at the thrift store. Let's just keep these bolos coming. Row back. We sold this month, 2 quarter zip row back sweatshirts. This one here had a design, like a company logo on the arm, but that didn't matter. It still sold for $45. And then the one that didn't sold for $61. So a lot of times when it has a brand on it, as long as it's a good brand, not necessarily the brand or the company that's sewn in, but the brand of the item, still get it anyways. You may take a little bit of a hit, but to sell that for $45 is still absolutely awesome. So don't shy away from branded clothing material from companies and stuff like that. And some companies can actually help the resale value too. So just keep an eye out. Comp everything. Not to keep promoting our brands video, but guys, if you didn't watch it, you need to, because we also talk about vintage Polo Ralph Lauren. Frizz found this leather jacket at the thrift store, picked it up, and it sold for $310. We have sold, today is, I don't have my watch on, I believe today is the 21st or the 22nd of January. We have already sold 14 Ralph Lauren items this month, which means we are selling one more than every other day. Ralph Lauren can do absolutely great. Preppy is in, but again, style matters. We're not picking up the button-up shirts unless it's got a really cool pattern on it. We're not picking up polos unless it's new with tag and really cheap. So again, comp things up, but anything unique, different, hats even, do really, really well with Ralph Lauren. Not to keep shilling out our own videos, but this Adidas sweater that we found on our last trip to Indianapolis when we talked about how slow things were, sold for $80. Somebody messaged us the other day and let us know that Adidas was one of their top 5 brands they sold last year on Poshmark. We don't sell Adidas at all. I would say we don't even try to sell Adidas. It's not one of the brands we look at. But we were having a really hard time in Indiana trying to find things, and I saw this Adidas sweater that looked just a little bit different. So Google Lensed it, started checking out some comps, and saw that it could go as high as $100. So we picked it up. It sold in like 2 weeks for $80. So this again is to say, just because a brand is good doesn't mean pick it up. And just because a brand may not be as good, don't pick it up. Again, story of the day, comp everything. Quilted barber jackets, they sell immediately for us. We sold this one for $120. And because we sold this one for $120, we paid $30 for a pre-owned one at that grand opening sale just last week. Now that is not something that we would typically do, but $30 into $120, if it's gonna sell in a couple of weeks, we're doing that all day. But barber, always comp it like anything, but those barber quilted jackets can do very, very well. To anyone out there getting the extreme cold, the snow on the Gulf Coast, absolutely wild, We are dry. We are snowless, knock on wood, right now. They say it's coming at some point here in central North Carolina, but right now it's nothing but old dead leaves in the backyard. So hopefully you guys are staying warm, bundled up, and watching some Frizzy's finds. There you have it, a quick video, hopefully some tips and tricks to help wake up your store a little bit. Guys, please send Frizz some well wishes. She's almost completely better. She'll be back on the next video, I promise. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe. Thanks for being here, and don't worry, she'll be back. Thanks again to everybody watching. If you have not seen our brands video yet, I have posted it here for you to check out. Be sure to hit that like button, and we'll see y'all again soon.